yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got it on now. If you buy your style rap, a 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces, they all stuff. 10,000 a time. Play with these rats, I'm a ball player. Flow like a butterfly, Lambo the beat. I take a shop in a pair of the seats. You see me popping, they staring at me. This ring, it cost me a hair on a key. I told my dentist to carrot my teeth. We racking the Bottega V. This Margiela 2003. Push started, you know I ain't least. Forgets, I'm cool on the catch. She do what I said, she gon' fetch. I'm in this without regrets. Jimmy and my coupe ISS. I drill when I walk, I'm possessed. This rose look good on my flesh. These Rolls Royce back to back, yes. I'm floating on this shit like a jet ski. Come on, can't test me. In Florence, Dubai next week. She chocolate, she like Nestle. Got broccoli, pockets is healthy. Binoculars and they Balenci. With the lit read, I'm tryna make 200 M, please. 100, walk around with 10 to D. VS Stone, sit back, stroll. Pull up Rolls truck, I'm rocking the Rolls one. Platinum stones, I might have stones, yeah. Still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got the on now. If you buy your style rap, a 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces, they all stuff. 10,000 a time. Play with these rats, I'm a ball player. When trade my team, I could never be a trader. Like Raiders, we ball, never thought they'd rate us. I'm going about to drop them in label, but putting in this label, I ain't asking for favors. Drop me on smash the Raiders. Ain't no bay out of ass tangle. No interviews, ask me later. Like take off, I'd rather be rich than famous. Yes, might go call JoJo to protect. Oh no, could be cool to collect. My diamonds and gold in the chest. Hit down me a Louis V chest. Put it on, I can go down me a R&B Virgil, he gave me the credit. 10 years from now, look back on the shit, and I promise I'm doing my best. Let go, NCS iconic. Let's go, let's count out this money. Good loaf, the bread and the butter. The toast, now ain't that ironic. I'm digging it up, he ain't throwing it. She hate when I go, she hook on like funny. I float, I'm smoking on this chronic. Eat diamonds, hit when it's sunny. VS Stone, sit back, stroll. Pull up Rolls truck, I'm rocking the Rolls one. Platinum stones, I might have stones, yeah. It's still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got the on now.
Today, we're going to talk about the early college basketball plays, college baseball winners, and let's cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. I really want to fade Tiger today. I hate saying that. It doesn't feel right. I mean, who else has the sack to do it?
How are we not pairing this with Judge? Fading the GOAT, I feel like a Judge pairing is required.
You know, Jovan, I could be convinced, and I think I am.
The Sooners to take care of business by 4+ runs tonight. I think the offense for Oklahoma really picks it up when we have Kyson Witherspoon on the mound. I will take my chances that the offense is going to do enough to get this into a pretty ugly game.
There's not enough glue guys to go around, Jovan. They got no glue guys in that locker room in Philly. Zero. They got the opposite. They got the most toxic team of all time. They don't give a hoot. Let's leave them in the Big 2-4.
Have to.
At least for now. I would have taken Peebles if he was up there.
I'm gonna mute.
Dude, there's no sped up videos.
Dude, he was cooking. He was absolutely cooking. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, episode 658 piece, the best BTL of the week. As always, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not using Bookit yet, today could be a great day to start using Bookit, or maybe this weekend, maybe on the loaded Saturday slate. You check out the Bookit app. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? The best bet tracking app out there by far, and tons of great features out there. If you're betting every day, you need to be using Bookit. Get involved. We got the Gummy One coming in resubbing along with Colt Stick. Sure. W's, gents. They really let us get to Friday again. Sure. We got B Young coming in, dropping a resub as well. Pure. Sure.
Oh.
WB Young. Love to see it. It's been a while since I heard pure or saw that little hashtag in the chat. W's. Appreciate all you guys. We have an early hype train moving and grooving, Jovan. What do you think about them apples?
Love that.
Sure.
Absolutely love that, Krabs.
Yeah, you know what else I love? Cash and squad rides by 40 points.
Sure.
Yep.
That's how you put foot down for air, Krabs. Good shit.
Yep. I am done losing squad rides. And I really hope, and I know you didn't take it personally yesterday, Jovan, calling the chat out a little bit, saying we can't just put your play in there every day. If it was
the same
roles
thing.
reversed, yeah, if it was roles reversed and they were putting my play in there every fucking time, that wouldn't work either. right? We find success by collaboration, not just you and me, but with the chat as well, right? Picking their brains, seeing what they like. And at the end of the day, they get the final say. So W job yesterday, chat. Way to get locked the fuck in, click the right button, and cash the squad right. Because the mount ended up winning outright. And that was another moonshot option that I gave. Great fucking work, chat. Way to
You can't let
navigate the
that
cave.
get swept. You were sulking for a full 24-hour day for nothing, Krabs.
No,
nothing.
You're right. No, you're so right. As Oregon's collapsing right now. Have you ever seen a luckier team in your life than the Spartans? Or have you?
Yeah. I'd put Miami up there. What was that, 2 years ago?
Also, have you seen the gosh, I just lost my train of thought, but W Goots, we got the steamed crabs ready. Love to hear it. Have you seen the line for the Mount game tonight? Is what I was going to ask, because it might have to make it a 48-hour sulk sesh.
Yeah, now you can sulk because we're smoking on that Mount pack tonight. Season's over.
Hey, I want to shout out Coach Linz. I want to shout out the Mountaineers. This is the best team I've seen in a decade up there at Emmitsburg. Shout out Coach Lind. First season ever coaching as a head coach. 20 wins. That shit doesn't happen very often. That dude's got some mojo. He's a damn good coach. He does this again next year, he's probably going. And coaching, I told Jovan, he's probably taking over for Bill Self at Kansas once he hangs him up and retires. So shout out Coach Lind. Shout out the Mount for 20 wins. It's already a win. It's already a winning season, even if they lose tonight. So thank you, Mount, for having a great year and giving me some joy this season with how terrible the Hokies have been. I need a little pick-me-up for a school that I root for and like, a mid-major, and they picked up the slack. They really did, and they brought some joy to my heart this season. Shout out the Mount.
There's no way you just gave a thank you fan speech for the Mount.
I want to thank the fans for coming out. I do. I want to thank the fans for supporting the Mount. I'll put the chain on one more time. Last time I get to rock this puppy. Guys, they have no Terrell R tonight. They have no Dallas Hobbs tonight. And they have no Pacheco, one of their best guards, either. If they win this game tonight, they are the greatest team of all time. They're not winning tonight. All right, it's the Mount funeral, like Jovan said, smoking on that Mount pack. But what a great year anyways. W's, gents. I got one more team I like that I want to bitch about real quick, Jovan. I'm not done yet.
Oh, boy.
Yep. Before we do, though, I want to flash the Sharp Report. W. Goots, keep me in line here. Take a peep at the Sharp Report. I hate Ohio with a passion.
Horrendous team.
With a passion. Yeah, you guys want to take a guess at what play I put some sneak units on last night?
Jeez.
Anybody want to take a guess? Yep. That was the Bobcats of Ohio, who should have won that game, and they didn't because the refs called a fake foul with 0.2 seconds left at the end of the game to take it to OT. And once it went to OT, you knew Ohio wasn't winning that shit. Besides that, pretty solid day from me. Miles Byrd hit a 3 early and then didn't hit one the rest of the game. I can't figure out that guy. I'm done taking him. Every time I take him,
that was about to be air, dude. I thought that was about to be air after I saw one go through early.
Yeah, dude. Same. Donovan Yap, one of the best fades on the board last night.
I want to give you your flowers for that. That was unbelievable.
What do you have? 2 points, I think?
Yeah.
Played like shit. Sure.
Awful.
After a career game. Jovan, besides Creighton and Milos.
Horrible wagers.
3-2 day. And those winners were pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
We take a 3-2 day.
Pretty sweat-free winners and sweat-free losers. It's just the way you like it.
Yep. Pax picks, we are not going to talk about the Creighton game. If Jovan didn't go positive, we would. We don't need to talk about that game. It was a crazy game. Bets aside. Crazy game. Great game.
Yeah, 100%.
Hype train moving and grooving. Let's fucking go. Love to see that chat. Way to get involved today on a Friday. WTMA earlier today as well. W Mike. Let's hope we get a W Surge after the BTL episode today. All right. Why don't we hop into the steamed crabs, get that done so we can talk about some of these early winners.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, can't forget about that. Can't forget about
W
that.
Goods. Let's recap the TNT 2-piece.
That was a rushed one too, Krabs.
What do you know?
Incredibly rushed.
They hit every week.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know. Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares. Nobody responds to the tweets. Nobody tails it. Nobody sees it. Nobody gives a hoot. Jovan, it hits every week. What more do we have to do?
I'm so it's hilarious that's like the most consistent shit that we've been doing lately because it's the NBA.
Yeah, to be honest, we don't deserve it.
It's unbelievable.
But the gambling gods are giving it to us. Right?
Your little sneak like role player under squares, they get me every time. They're just always green.
I mean, yeah.
Gabe Vincent came in and shot tour dates, dude. He was awful.
No way we're crying about not glazing a toothpaste. Not crying. I just, the math doesn't check out to me. It doesn't make sense. We hit a two-piece every week. Nobody gives a hoot.
Dude, I hope that's not Trent talking. He claps on stream for not taking something.
Bro, he claps for bumps.
He literally claps, plays music, gets up, and throws ass for bumps. Just unbelievable.
Well, shit. Unbelievable. W early sharp report so we can get it going before DeGen and Beeve tip off. Yeah, what time are they playing?
Is that today?
I think that is today. All right, somebody let me know what's going on over there. Yay, lads.
Yeah,
WTNT two-piece. I appreciate you. Yay, lads. I hope you tailed. I hope you cashed, man. I hope you tailed. I hope you cashed. Once again, the TNT two-piece smacked. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Right now, chat, I'm sweating out Oregon plus 6.5. We'll see how that goes. They're fighting. Only about 3 minutes left in the first half. We'll see how they close it out. Jovan, you got any bets early on today before we hop into the sharp report?
No, I'm sweating that with you, Krabs. I tailed and joined, so I'm right here.
All right. Gutsy, if you don't mind, before we get to the sharp report, I want to bitch about one more thing. Run it. Jovan, I was getting in my feels earlier today, man. I was going over all the former Hokies. I actually spent a little bit of time on this. It's impressive seeing all the former Hokies who, I mean, Jovan, if I made a list of the former Hokies since I've been following this team over the last 10 years who left the school and played somewhere else and turned into an all-star, turned into LeBron James, it would be the greatest team actually on earth, and it would be the number one ranked team of college basketball. But I cut it down a little bit. I kept it to only guys who were still playing in the big 2-4, 2-5, right? I got two full squads right here, Jovan. I got a first team and a second team of former Hokies. You can't make this shit up, dude. Look at the first team. That team is given the business to 9 out of 10 squads they play in college basketball.
Correct.
Sean Padula, Darius Maddox, Rodney Rice, one of the clutchest guards in CBB, John Camden, Dave Nagesson holding it down, and plenty of bigs on that second team. If you need to dip into that bench. What do you think, Jovan? Is this not the greatest team you've ever seen assembled?
Krabs, that team is horse meat. Horrendous.
That team is good.
That team
is good.
Loses in the second round of the NIT.
That team beats TCU's all-star team in the same case.
I strongly disagree.
I need to see the squads.
Like, I mean, you know the starters off the top of guys that have transferred from TCU that are still playing.
Yep.
Jacoby Coles is up and moving in there. PJ Haggerty, he drops 20 a game. That alone,
Padula cancel out. Yep.
Padula and PJ Haggerty cancel out, Krabs.
Yep.
Padula is not scoring because Micah Peavy is also going to be guarding him, and he's going to be dropping 20 himself. Can't forget that.
He's really good. Yep.
Yeah. You still got Eddie Lampkin up and moving, which, I mean, I hate.
Your guy.
He'll hang there with Dave Nagesson just because he's a big body. That team alone, if you give me McNeese's bench, and they're still beating them with those starting 4 out of 5.
I don't know, man. I'm taking the Hokies plus 6.5 against the former TCU first team, second team.
Horrendous. Horrendous.
I'm taking the points, and I think that spread's a little bit shorter than people think.
Horrible.
I'll say it.
Horrible.
This is a super team, and it makes me sad. I got to watch all these guys. The funniest part about this, Jovan, is that the majority of these dudes I'm going to have to watch in March in the big dance. And John Camden, I almost had to watch in the big dance, which is insane. Don't have to now.
Who else are you going to have to watch? Padula,
Rodney
Rice,
one of the two George Mason or G-Dub teams. One of those two teams is winning their conference tourney. I'll tell you right now. Feeling it in my nads. Vandy. You don't think Vandy's going to the dance?
Well, MJ Collins, isn't he done? Right? Is he still
He
playing?
might be done. No,
Yeah, I
he's
thought
still
he was
playing
hurt.
on that team. He's
Thought he was
still
hurt.
on the team. He might be hurt, but he's on the roster. Tyler
Yeah.
Nickel?
Nickel will be up and moving.
Sure. Yep. Lynn Kidd, probably not. I don't think they're going to get an invite. Probably not an auto bid.
Yeah,
for
probably
him.
not. Probably not.
Love Krabs, but this has to stop. Okay. Well, you guys hated that segment. Why don't we go ahead and move on and talk about some winners for today? Why don't we get to the sharp reports? All right, and talk about some plays that we're loving on the slate for today. Make ourselves useful for you guys. Okay. Yeah. How about this one, Chad?
How the Krabs?
Yep.
I can't, dude. I can't.
Yep. I'm doing it. I don't give a hoot what people think about it. I'm putting my foot down. It's a winner. I don't give a shit. It's a winner. They're going to win the MAC. They're going to win the MAC. I'm taking them. Jovan, they're playing a Miami of Ohio team that has a horseshoe up their ass. They're so lucky, and they swept them this season when they played.
Yeah, I know we were on them the last time they played. You remember
Well, I'm
that
taking
game?
them
That was the
again.
overtime game. We were in rat shit, dude.
Yes, I remember. I was there in spirit. I was there with the wager. I'm taking him again. I didn't hear no bell. I don't give a hoot. I don't care what the chat thinks. It is winning. It's a winner. It's green. -3.5 Kent State. They're going to go on and win the MAC, but first they got to beat Miami of Ohio in these semis. They get it done. They're not losing to Miami of Ohio 3 times this season. If they do, I'll tip cap.
The unfortunate part is that I kind of do think they win the MAC if they get past today, so I can't really hate it too much. It's a horse meat button to push.
It is.
And yes, this is officially gone beyond Paolo level, I would say.
Maybe tonight's outcome will decide that.
Don't forget, Paolo was only a thing for a week. That was like a stretch of like 4 games.
I've never lost more coin on prospects in my life.
Yeah, Kent State's been going on for a month and a half now.
Yeah. It's been more spread out, though, I feel like. So, I don't know. I might have to go back and crunch the numbers. Okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
They need to give you an honorary doctorate for your commitment to that school. Yeah, let me give the commencement speech. I'll let those kids hear it if they don't come through tonight. And
you're already booked for the Mount commencement, unfortunately. So.
Oh, sure. The Mount is calling.
Yeah.
I would answer that call. Give me Kent State -3.5 against the best team in the conference, against a team that swept them this year, against a team that's unbeatable, a team that's playing just as good, if not better, than Kent State right now. But they're dogs, and for good reason. And Kent State's getting steamed. Grab them now before they get to -4. Sure. Let's move on to Javon's place.
Sure. Let's go to the Longhorns again, Krabs.
Running it back. Okay.
Run it back. I think they have a chance, just like the first time they played, to keep this one close. And as good as Tennessee's defense is, most defenses that I guess are built like this, I would not think for a second to back Texas, because Trey Johnson, if you put him in a box, for the most part, like that offense kind of dissipates. Now I think that the big adjustment they made is giving Tremont Mark more point guard. We talked about him. That's why I took his points yesterday, but he's been like a decent facilitator, decent playmaker off the bounce too. So it takes a little bit of pressure off of Trey Johnson. But even if you guard up Trey Johnson between Majak, Lanier, and if they put Ziegler on him, maybe that's cookie. If they even let him switch on him, but they shouldn't. But either of the other guys, he's got 3-4 inches on him. So like he, just like the first time, weirdly, like if you think Tennessee, like on paper, should be a source of like a very inefficient Trey Johnson game, it would be a defense that would put him in a box. You'd have real trouble shooting, but he can just shoot over the top of these guys. So like this is just like in the regular season, he went 11 of 17 with 26 points, which for Trey Johnson, that's an extremely efficient game. He can do the same thing here. So they're going to have to sacrifice something. Like Tremont Mark is going to be seeing a lot of Ziegler, I would assume so. So he's going to be focused on a little more facilitating, like he did really, really well against a very physical defense yesterday. But there's a mismatch with whoever you put on Trey Johnson. You want to give up, height, putting Majak or Lanier or any like Gainey off the bench on him, go ahead and do that. And I think guys like Kaluma are going to be able to step up on Milicic, who's had trouble keeping control of those guys lately. God forbid they switch Igor on, Trey Johnson to maybe put some height on him. Kaluma is going to have 40, and that's going to happen. So I think this is a pretty interesting matchup. I'm kind of buying into, as terrible as a coach as Rodney Terry is, he actually made some pretty decent moves over the past couple weeks. So I'm kind of buying in. I think against this Tennessee team that, Texas has gotten hot. They're playing for their lives right now. I think this game will be close and come down to the wire. So I'm taking them again.
Take them again. At this point, right, in March, you got to kind of go off of feel as well. And you got to trust more your basketball brain, your eyeballs, a little bit more than the lines. The lines get so fucking sharp and tight around this time of year, Jovan. And, typically if I'm seeing you put Texas back-to-back days earlier on in the season, I'm scratching my head a little bit. But this time around, you got to trust your guts and you got to go off of feel a little bit and your eyeballs, watching these teams and using the eye test a little bit more than the lines like you do early on in the season. So I got no problem with that back in Texas once again. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Crazy to say, but Kendall Weaver's coming off the bench. He's like healthy now and looks good. And he's one of their best on-ball defenders. So not that Ziegler can't pass the ball, but he's going to put a lot of pressure on him. I assume he'll be getting more minutes today, getting to hound him a little bit. So we'll see what he does. Maybe he switches on Chaz Lanier too. So somebody's putting up tour dates out of the two of those guys.
No fucking shot. Oregon is down 10 at half right now. How did that happen? When did that happen? When did that happen?
No way DeGen's getting smoked.
Me?
GG.
Oh.
I had a Supermax on DeGen.
You can only cap hard so much in that matchup.
I saw they did have actual lines up. What was the actual spread for that?
I heard 8.5, 7.5, I think. But I think I saw 8.5s on the feed, something like that. And I don't even know what they're playing to. Probably 21, maybe 14. I don't know. Somebody in chat probably knows better than me. But keep me updated. Let me know how it plays out. Okay.
Wait, what? 8.5, 15?
You're playing a 15, 8.5. Okay.
Oh, yeah. GG.
Riley Brass does no ball. Good to see you in chat, my man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a great week. Krabs, I offered you that shirt / foam finger last week. You're going to need it tonight. Honestly, Riley, you're goddamn right. Should have taken you up on that offer. I could be rocking that Kent State Golden Flashes shirt and foam finger right now as we speak.
Dude, yeah, this would have been huge. I honestly could have bought in 10 times if we had the foam finger.
Shit. The gem looks like pork. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Beef hit 2 threes to start the game. Interesting strategy. Was DeGen playing zone? Was he playing off of him a little bit? Was he playing off? I picture him first possession. He checks the ball up to him, and then he steps back and says, "All you, brother." And then he bangs 2 threes right in his face.
For sure slap the floor.
KG floor slap? Sure. Krabby, how about Gore the other day? Yeah, nobody wants to talk about Mackenzie Gore having a 0 ERA in the spring. People are just like, this guy sucks. 0 ERA in the spring.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, dude?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm looking at Gore.
Sure.
Gore short?
Wait, what do you mean you're looking at Gore?
Like, I'd like to trade for him. So I'm liking the spring he's having.
Yeah, he's him.
Yeah.
Really good. All right. Let's move in, Grove. I want to talk about more of these plays. Wow, it really pissed me off seeing that Oregon score. So I'm going to go ahead and close that game down. Kind of like I did yesterday when I was watching the game during the show. We don't need that up. We'll see how it plays out. For now, let's talk about some more winners for the peeps today, Jovan, and I'll go ahead and get it started with the Hawk that will never die. Shout out LaSalle last night. Why don't we talk about that game for a second? Great atmosphere at the A10. Guys, I'm going to put out a vlog comparing the CAA tourney to the A10 tourney before we go to Vegas next week. So keep that on your radar. But going to compare those two tourneys. Don't want to spill the beans too much, but we could talk a little bit about the bet from yesterday and the A10 tourney. I know it was only session 3, so it wasn't like a championship. It wasn't sold out, but it was just great watching that basketball and then watching some Philly basketball as well. I'm not a big Philly guy, but I like some Philly basketball, and those crowds were chirping. They were letting the refs hear it. They were letting the opposing teams hear it. Shout out LaSalle for covering against St. Joe's. At one point, that game looked like they were toast. They were down 21 with like 4 minutes left, and then they almost came back and won the game for Coach, who's about to hang him up and retire at the end of the season. And then Fordham hung around and covered the alt spread against GW as well. So W two-piece parlay and W day at the A10 yesterday with Gootsy. Goots, you have a good time? I hope so. Don't get too excited, Goots.
Had a great time.
Good. All right, let's stick in the A10. You got St. Joe's. Speaking of St. Joe's, they did not close that game out well last night. They did not. Like I was just talking about, they were up big, and then they kind of blew it. want to back them again today, Jovan, against a Dayton squad they typically struggle against. But I don't care. I'm taking them today at that crazy line, +1.5 against a Dayton team that's starting to heat up, playing their best basketball right now, winners of 4 in a row. I think this Dayton team is a shell of itself, though, in recent years. I'm not buying into this year's Flyers. I don't think they're great. And although they have St. Joe's number, they've beaten them like 7 straight games in a row. I want to take St. Joe's here. I thought this was crazy seeing the spread open up at +1.5, considering Dayton's dominance in recent years, not only in the A10, but against St. Joe specifically. And considering St. Joe almost blew that game last night, why are they only +1.5 in the spot? The Hawk will never die. I'll take the +1.5. I think they went outright, though.
Sure. I can get down with that. Fading Dayton.
That mascot, he's going to have to be flapping his fucking wings for another couple hours tonight.
Yeah. How about another day?
Workout in.
Another day after Krabs.
Goods could not believe that guy actually had to flap his fucking wings the entire game. Like, there's nobody in that arena who's looking more forward to halftime or the end of the game than that.
I believe
guy, right?
it.
Let's be real.
I believe it. It's just I feel bad for the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
on full scholarship
for
now.
sure.
Yep.
But, you know,
full ride.
It's crazy.
That's a workout.
I mean,
that's a workout.
That's not just a workout. That's like your arms could fall off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how
anybody's arms could fall.
If he still had to handwrite papers, he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, Chaco, it's a pretty big deal actually in Philly. Yeah, full ride for whoever is the Hawk mascot, and it's not a joke. It's not a bit. You have to fucking flap your wings if you're out in public.
Pretty sick.
Nobody looks forward to halftime more than that guy. Straight up. Crazy. There's no way he's flapping his wings in the locker room, right? They got to tell him to relax, right? And take 5.
What if he just shows heart like that, Krabs?
There's no shot. I hope for his sake he's not. All right, let's swing it around. +1.5 for St. Joe's. I want to see what Jovan's second play is. He's keeping us in CBB, I believe. Sure.
Yeah, Big Ten. Crab 5 versus the Illini, the under ticket in this game. You know, the Illinois played a game yesterday. They had 200 points. Obviously, they're playing Iowa. A lot of that was either Ivisic just absolutely dominating, or I guess from the Illinois side, it was either Ivisic dominating because Iowa has no big man, or, you know, Killian Boswell got to the basket with absolute ease to the point where they had to start dropping super, super far back, like the most absurd drop coverage I've ever seen. And then he just shot over the top of them a couple times too. So it was just Iowa really bad defense. But in that game, both the teams shot a combined 46% from 3. Just unbelievable 3-point shooting, super efficient. Obviously, Illinois scored 106 points against that horrid defense. It's going to be much, much different when you play the Maryland, Twin Towers on the inside, which I think are going to pose a real challenge for them. It's going to put a lot of stress on Illinois to repeat that shooting performance from yesterday. And this time they won't have such a beautiful matchup for Tomislav on the inside to use as a crutch, essentially. So Kasparis is going to have to be up and moving. Will Riley's going to have to be up and moving. And I think those guys are going to have to be lights out after scoring 106 points and doing the same exact thing against a much worse defense yesterday. So I think this is a much tougher matchup for Illinois. I'm a little scared to just fully take the Terps because, I mean, the line's a little short in my opinion. Plus, I do think there's going to be a point where Illinois, they got dominated by, both Derek Queen and Reese the first time they played. They're probably going to double them at some point, which puts a lot of stress on the other shooters for, Maryland to make their shots as well at a pretty consistent rate, which love your guy Rodney Rice and everybody else that they have back there. But I feel like there's a big time shooting drought or scoring drought coming for them once they start figuring that out, or before they start figuring that out. So I think this is a slower game to start. And I guess some of these outside of the first Illinois or the Illinois-Iowa game yesterday, some of the more obvious like spots for points in the Big Ten have not quite been coming through. This feels like another one of them where Maryland's defense takes over, but their offense can't really do enough to keep up.
Yeah, definitely concerned not to see the Terps on the sheet for you, but I have your same concerns.
I was expecting a little more than 1.5, which is why
so was I.
This is my way of backing them without backing them, because I do think like I'm very sold on their defense making Illinois really, really uncomfortable and slowing them down. But if there's something going on odd with this game, I think it's because they can't shoot themselves out of the same exact problem.
Guys, were you not in BTL earlier today? I already had the chain on. People in chat are really giving me a hard time for not wearing the mount chain. I took it off because it was already on earlier. I got to wear it the whole fucking show?
Yeah, you might have to.
OG Sauer, I mean, he's chirped me. He's saying, respectfully, where's the mount chain? They won outright yesterday. I was wearing it earlier on. OG Sauer, where were you in the beginning of the show? I'll flip it on you. Sure. I'll keep the chain on if it makes you guys happy. Chain stays on at all times. All right, folks.
Brink.
The mount. Sure. Took it with Brent. Come on, man. We got to be better. We need you in here at 12:30 Eastern sharp, brother. Come on. We need the whole squad. He said, sorry, I was tuning into DeGen shooting 0 for 12. I hope that's not true.
That's fair.
I hope the 0 for 12 part's not true. It's okay if you're watching the stream, obviously, but I hope DeGen puts up at least a couple points. 11-1 Beeve. Jesus Christ.
My
All
God.
right. Let's stay locked in. By God. Yeah, LC, let me know when you want to stream MLB The Show. Seriously.
Yeah, I'm up and moving tonight for sure.
Okay. Chain whole show is better than flapping the whole game. Luke's likes, I agree. W's. All right, let's power through the sharp report. We're taking our sweet time here. Why don't we flip it back to my plays? I got one more for the peeps. I like Purdue tonight. I like Purdue against Michigan. I don't know if you listen to the CBB pod we did, the Power Conference pod, which you guys can still check out. It's still relevant. We'll drop the link to that in the chat once again. But if you listen to that, you'd hear some of my concerns about Michigan at the price they were at pre-tournament. Thought it was kind of weird. They were getting no respect at all. And Purdue, I thought, was getting a little bit more respect than I thought with how their season's gone this year. Who really wants to back Purdue this season with no Edie? I know Braden Smith has been a beast, but Purdue's had some bad losses this year. And when they played a couple weeks ago, the last time these two teams faced off, Michigan beat them. I was a little bit surprised to see Purdue getting the line respect they are here, -2.5, the 6 seed against Michigan, a team that's been pretty lucky, a team that's respected a lot of teams' coins this season, a lot of bettors' coins this season, but a team that when they win, they've only won by like 1 or 2 points. It's been the craziest bit. This Michigan team, they've been a covering machine for the better parts of, the middle to the first half of the season. I know they haven't covered their last 4 in a row, but when this Michigan team wins, it's typically by a freaking pew, bro. It's by like 1 or 2 points, barely getting it done. I think today it's probably the same case. If they do win, it's by 1 or 2 points at the end of the game. Hopefully no late fouls, but I honestly predict Purdue to come out hot here and win this game probably by 10 plus and get revenge for that last matchup, Jovan, where they lost outright to Michigan. I think it's Braden Smith's tourney. I think he shows up and dominates like he's been doing all season. And I don't think Purdue's dead yet. I think Matt Painter's got a couple tricks up his sleeve. No Edie, no problem. They get it done against Michigan. And mainly fading the Wolverines' pre-tournament line respect or line disrespect.
Probably if it wasn't for those future lines to win the tournament, I would 100% be on Michigan. I'm not going to lie to you. And I thought about going back on that today. And part of that's just like what I saw yesterday is, I don't know, a microcosm of what Purdue's done all season, and especially like the back half of the season. They just can't guard anyone in the paint. So like obviously they're going to make some adjustments with Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf up and moving, but I just find it hard to believe. I think this one, if you're going to take Purdue, it's got to come with points. It's the only way.
Yeah, that scares the heck out of me, Jovan. I'm not going to lie to you. Hearing that you're like in Michigan, but you're staying off of it out of respect for the pre-tournament odds.
Yeah, because I mean, I was 100% with you, and I guess I was the one who brought it up on the pod. That line seemed ridiculous. Granted that they were getting the extra bye in comparison to Purdue and all the other teams, but yeah, it's an odd game for sure.
SBR said, I think it's the other way around, low key. I think nobody wants to bet on Michigan. That being said, I'm on Purdue. Okay, SBR, I love you, my man, but those are two things that I just did not need to hear right now. I'll be completely honest with you. Number one, I'm wrong. And number two, a fan of a team is on the other side, which means the opposite's going to happen, which means Michigan's going to win. Okay.
I mean, maybe. I mean, my simple basketball brain is just saying I don't see a world where Purdue doesn't give up like 50 points in the paint, which is not a hot take because, I mean, they basically did that against fucking USC last night, and it wasn't even through a big. It was through their guards.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Trey Kalpenrad could only do so much down there.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a good defender. Horrible defender.
No.
But he gets his on offense. He's going to need to tonight.
I
guess Braden Smith will probably need to.
That's ball game, folks. Beeve wins 15-1. I mean, he didn't let him get any handout buckets. That's pretty fucked up.
Unbelievable.
No handout bucks for the veteran. I would have given him a couple. Although Beeb is significantly better than me at basketball. So we'll groove. Okay. Wow. Oh, he tried. The gen is bad. All right, Chipper. All right, brother. Well, that's still a W idea and W gents. Hilarious. Jovan, one more play for you, one more straight bet, and it's on the diamond. How about it?
On the diamond, Krabs. Shout out Big
Sure.
Cheesy with a couple gifted.
Let's go, Big Cheeser. Sure we can.
Yeah, taking Baylor tonight. Plus Chick. This is actually a really, really good, should be a really good pitching matchup because Ethan Calder, who's the Baylor starter, is going up against Don Vogel, Kansas starter, two of the best pitchers in the Big 12. Baylor staff as a whole is very, very good. But I think this is just a slap in the face or like a reality check for Kansas, because Kansas has been really good, Krabs. I assume you haven't been keeping up with them because it would be pretty weird if you did. But their series to start the year, it was against Corpus Christi, Tarleton State, Omaha, Milwaukee, and then they just played a midweek series on the road, technically on the road, but it was in the Viking Stadium at Minnesota. And on Wednesday, you know what they did, Krabs? They scored 29 runs in a 7-inning game that got shortened for run rule, and that includes them hitting 5 home runs in a row.
Okay, so 5 in a row.
Yeah, sure. 5 in a row, back to back to back to back to back. It was crazy. And that's a pretty big park dimensions-wise because they're literally playing in a football stadium. But the premise of that is the Baylor pitching staff is damn good. It's not just Ethan Calder, who, again, he's one of the best pitchers in the Big 12, lefty with a lot of power, great stuff. But the pitching staff as a whole is lights out tonight, or all season. And tonight, this is the first time, like looking at Minnesota staff, Milwaukee staff, Omaha staff, Tarleton, Corpus Christi. These are horrendous pitching staff, not power level conferences like pitching staffs that Kansas faced. They've been awful. So they've been able to play pretty much the show on rookie mode for the past month, just about to start the season. Now, this is a Friday night game where you're playing against one of the best arms that you've faced all season by a significant margin, which granted, same's true for Baylor, but they've played a little better comp. And then you've also got the story with, I don't know if it's a little extended further than just Texas, but like all over the Midwest and center of the country, there's heavy, heavy winds tonight. So like blowing in, this is probably going to be an under game where pitching is going to win you the game. And in that, I'm certainly going to trust, even though they're on the road, Baylor, who I think is still an underrated team in the Big 12. So I think they go out and they get this one and shut Kansas lineup down. And it's a little harsh reality check to open Big 12 play on Friday night.
People are saying it might be the biggest crowds in Kansas baseball history.
Yeah, they've been even for some of the shit games, it's been like they've got the student section like full, like chirping. It's actually hilarious. So I mean, that sucks to be fading that, but it's pretty sick what they're doing at Kansas. But tonight we'll see what happens. I think they let them down.
And it's $1 dog night. Could be the difference.
$1 dog night could be the difference. You might have to fly up there.
Sure. I have not had a desire to eat a hot dog since that Rangers game.
I mean, I wouldn't either.
It'd be weird if I did.
I guess you did. You got a dog. You got a dog in Tampa.
I've had a couple. Actually, that dog was really fucking good.
Yeah,
that might be one of the best hot dogs I've ever had. The club dog at the Bucks game, the Buccaneers game. Chat, not even a baseball game. Yeah. Incredible, like absolutely incredible.
Hawaiian, you didn't get the good one either.
King rolls.
Yeah,
you tell me there's a better one than that.
Well, that wasn't there like a lobster one there too, or crab one or something right there, and you got like the barbecue one instead.
There might have been.
There was some like seafood-ish one that was related. So I remember we were looking at that, and I was so disappointed you didn't get that.
Yeah, well, as a typical contrarian, and my name is Krabs, I don't really care for seafood that much. What do you think about that?
I mean, dude. How are you a real? I don't even think I knew that. I knew you didn't like mac and cheese. I knew you didn't like mac and cheese, which is a whole different. Like you should be shot in GTA for.
I think I need to make a list. I need to start doing like rankings. Crabalytics. Right? Get the Crabalytics up and moving. I need to make a list of the foods that I don't eat. Mac and cheese, I hate. I'm not a big seafood guy. I like crabs. I like salmon. I like tilapia, which is like fake fish. I like shrimp.
Tilapia is the cockroach of fish.
Krabs, you are from Maryland and you don't like seafood.
From Maryland and no crab, dude?
I like crab. I like only Maryland blue crab, though. None of that king crab bullshit. None of, it has to be Chesapeake blue crab or I'm out. or it's no fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
That I think Goots can agree with.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys probably haven't seen it because you haven't been hanging out with me too much up here, this neck of the woods. But if there's a crab dip on the menu, I'll ask the waiter or waitress. I'll say, "Where's the crab from?"
Bro,
I'll ask. I'll
there's
say,
no
"I need
way.
to see. I need a name. I need a town. I need the zip codes. It has to be from the Chesapeake Bay, or
Yeah.
else I'm
Well,
not fucking
if
eating."
you're
There's
asking
no
that
way.
right now in the winter, it's most likely not going to be.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Like,
it's
you
either
can
Chesapeake
actually,
Blue
like,
Crab or it's no fucking
you
deal.
can taste the difference if
Yes.
somebody
Oh,
told
yeah.
you.
there is a difference.
Oh yeah.
If
Maryland
somebody
crab,
told you it was from there and it wasn't actually from there,
we
you're
would
telling
know.
me you would be able to spot it.
I'd
We would
spit it
know.
out. I'd freak out. I'd lose my shit.
Yeah.
I'd
There's
lose
no
it
better crab
like a
than
little
Maryland
kid who
crab.
doesn't get his candy that he wants. I'd freak out. Yep. Big difference between Chesapeake Blue Crab and all the others, chat. Learn something. Read a book. Okay, Chesapeake Blue Crab is elite. Yeah, where's Chef T at? Is he in here? Oh
Yeah, he's up
no,
and moving.
Krabs,
You
big
got him
dog.
stirred.
Chef T, I'm obviously biased here. Okay, born in
10
Maryland.
crabs.
I got to back the Chesapeake Blue Crabs here.
10. We had 10 squad rides in a row at some point. Mac and cheese food review.
We've done that, by the way.
We have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that before. So it's.
I'm saying,
no,
we do it
I do
again.
not sign up for that. No.
We do it again. I'm demanding it. I don't think you really have an option.
Okay. If we had 10 squad rides in a row, if that's, yeah, sure. I will do a mac and cheese review when we hit 10 squad rides in a row. Okay. Need a mac and cheese review on the wheel. Honestly, Goots, that's playing chess while we're all over here playing fucking checkers like idiots. Like nincompoops. And then you're over there playing chess. Yeah, that should probably be on there, but Javon's idea is pretty darn good too.
I'll start fucking with
All right.
the probability on that. Real quick.
Cool Thugger Jackson. I'm pretty sure you're a DMV guy. I'm pretty sure you've said that on the stream before, but I've tried everything, man. I've tried, jumbo lump crab mac and cheese. A lot of places around here have that, right? It's a delicacy. Getting some blue crab in the mac. And even that doesn't work. I can't get there, guys. I can't get there.
Might have to
Everybody
get some
else thinks that's a shit take.
Lobster mac out at Nick and Sam's when you come down here soon. 2 birds, 1
I'll
stone.
take a bite. I will try to like it, and I promise you I won't. I honestly wish this wasn't the case. I don't want to be a food contrarian. Look at me. I like to eat. I'm a food guy. I'm not a small human being. I don't want to rule out any foods. I don't want to pigeonhole myself, not have myself eat mac and cheese. This is the one, I guess, way that I don't want to be a contrarian. That goes to show you that it's not a bit. I would love to like mac and cheese, folks. I just can't.
Crazy.
Krabs definitely orders chicken nuggets and fries at the seafood restaurant. No, he doesn't. He is actually pretty smart, and he gets crab cakes or salmon or some shrimp cocktail going for the appetizer, right?
I'll tell you this: when we went to Fogo de Chao Crabs, I don't know if you remember this, but you made sure to order the right wine to go with the meat.
Sure,
that did happen.
Krabs is
that
not a chicken tender and fry guy.
No,
like mac and cheese.
I'm a big red wine guy. Yeah, I like to try some cool foods. I'm all in to try whatever, but I just don't like some of this stuff. Krabs, a man of culture. Sure, kids. Scallops. Yeah, that's where you lose me. All right, let's lock back in here. We got too many games today. We got too many great college basketball games today for you guys to be roasting me on my mac and cheese bit. Okay, we could save that for the dog days of summer. All right, we got a load.
Maybe we can bitch about that on stream if we get that up moving tonight.
Yeah.
But let's get some PP squares up moving, Krabs.
Let's talk about some of our prize pick squares. Okay. I don't think I was talking about this on here. It was probably the pre-show meeting, but guys, we were at the A10 tourney like I was talking about earlier last night, and there was a Spurs scout there checking out the game, the GW and the Fordham game. And I was asking Goots, like, who the fuck is this guy here to watch? And then next thing you know, I hear the horn sounds by the scoreboard when they're about to have somebody check into the game, right? That they play at a stoppage. Look over, I see a behemoth of a man checking into the game. It's Rafael Castro. And I'm like, holy shit, that might be Wemby 2.0. Not as good. Same build. And I'm like, that's the guy this Spurs scout is here to see. And he played a great fucking game. And I'll tell you what, Jovan, he's got a pretty darn good matchup today against George Mason. I know we were joking about my, my Hokies first team, second team list earlier. There's a guy on that list, Jalen Haynes, the big man for George Mason, who's having a great season. Bless his heart. But he's going to get his lunch money taken tonight against Rafael Castro. I'm taking his PRA, more than 25.5. Had a great game last night. He's finishing the season extremely strong. He's had a bunch of assists as well of late. I don't know if PrizePicks is hip to that right now, but Rafael Castro playing great ball, having NBA scouts in the building watching this kid play. The volume is there. The boards are there. I think he's got a great matchup against George Mason today. I want to take Rafael Castro, and I also like GW in this matchup as well. I don't even care if they're up to +4. That's because everybody and their mother's taking George Mason. I'm going to back Rafael Castro more than PRA, and I'll also be on GW. This one simply means more for Castro with the scouts in the building.
With the scouts in the building, it's crazy.
Sure.
But I'm in.
Yeah. And then Donovan Dent, I took him yesterday, or maybe, I think it actually was yesterday on TMA. I gave that square out, and he came through. Similar angle here, Jovan. Donovan Dent, he's just a dude. He's one of the best players in the country, not just in this conference, not just one of the best point guards. He is legitimately, if you watch basketball enough, you will notice it. Donovan Dent, one of the best players in the country. He's him. And Jovan, he has not hit his points in the couple games he's played this season against his squads, but he's had plenty of assists. Boise's done a decent job of double covering him at times, and you got Cardenas, who's pretty big, a little bit more physical. Now, Donovan Dent, they got that trappy 3 square up there as well. It makes it look like it's going to be a pretty free more than. I don't know if it's going to be the 3s where Donovan Dent is coming through, because Cardenas, he's got the size to keep him, kind of limited from the 3-point arc. But it's Donovan Dent getting to the rack against Cardenas where he's going to find some success, and then also dishing to his big men in the paint as well. And that's where he's found some serious success against Boise this season. Hasn't really been points. It's been more assists. Either way tonight, that's why I'm taking the PR here, or PA, for his points and assists. Donovan Dent more than 26.5. I think he leads his team to a big-time win tonight against Boise, who's going to be public once again. Boise bettors last night. Great fucking play. I do think this is probably when the lights get a little too bright for Coach Rice and co., and you see New Mexico shine. I just think it's their year, Jovan. Donovan Dent, he's not playing any games. And I think he's got a lane to get to the rack against Cardenas and also keep diamond like he's been doing all season, and especially against Boise. So give me the PA.
Right. I'm down. Always down for Donovan Dent.
Yep. He's so good.
So good.
He's so good.
Unbelievable.
Fruity. Oregon bringing it back?
Yeah, Oregon's showing a lot of heart right now, Krabs.
Are they actually? Okay, let's not talk about it anymore, but I really do appreciate the updates because I forgot about that game. Yep. Good fucking shit, boys. Now let's drop it and not think about it again. Good. Jovan, squares. What are you cooking up over there, boss?
Start in the Big 12, go to Houston, and go to LJ Cryer, hitting 3 threes today.
Sure.
And they're playing BYU. I think regardless of how, the points end up in this game, because, both the teams are coming off of relatively solid offensive performances. And the BYU game yesterday was absolute cinema. Shout out them. 1,000,000 points, 1,000,000 spot ups too. Some of those came from Curtis Jones, who went scorched earth against BYU. So I do think, not that this is a hot take, but BYU does not quite hang their hat on their spot up 3 defense. And LJ Cryer, I think, is one of the guys that is going to take advantage of that tonight. You can make an argument for him. You can make an argument for Sharp. Even like Terrence Arsenault, who's not even a spot up guy, he went 4 for 5 in their meeting earlier this season. So I think this is the game, especially with a banged up Juwan Roberts, who he's one of their main guys that they just give the ball up top for handoffs, and he's supposed to be playing tonight, but I doubt he's going to be at full strength. His ankle looked pretty bad yesterday, so we'll see how that works. I think at the very least that means a little less handoff action at the top, and when they do that, they run these kind of fade screens to the corner, which a lot of those end in spot ups are either LJ Cryer or Sharp. So taking that, I think this game could be close. This game could be weird, but it definitely screams the LJ Cryer game, in my opinion.
Sign me up. Love this play, and I'm going to love this sell job, I think, even more. For the second square, I did drop the link if chat wants to tail the BTL Sharp Report format as well. Let's hear the D-Book sell job.
Yeah, I've already moved on from this, unfortunately, Krabs, because I've seen it on Twitter 1,000,000 times after it's been put in here. But I have no choice but to take it. He's coming off a game against the Rockets where he only had 4 assists, but the Rockets are obviously they force you to kind of drive on them and play one-on-one, so it's a vastly different matchup than this one. The Kings just played last night. Shout out them for getting absolutely porked, and now they're on a back-to-back. DeMar cashed the TNT 2-piece, but I was looking at a couple other squares that were going to be really air, and a lot of that was because they're just leaving wings absolutely wide open for 3, and not that, KD and Beal, who are both active, are the same as leaving a Draymond or Quentin Post or any of those guys open for 3, but now it seems like the Kings, they're not quite like Nets level, but they're blitzing the ball handler a lot more. So I don't think that's really by accident. You've seen it a lot in the last couple of games here. So against Devin Booker, I assume we're going to see that quite a bit tonight, especially being that they're on a back-to-back, being that Sabonis is back, but on a little bit of a restriction. You're going to have like a tight rotation of bigs behind him, and size-wise, you can't really match up with them. So I do think this is the perfect spot for them to continue to do it, and I think they're going to live with the results just like they had to last night schematically. And again, obviously it's a little different because they were giving up 50 open threes to Draymond. Quentin Post was wide. Moody was wide a couple times. Like, it's all somewhat of the same stuff, I think, that we saw last night against Steph that we're going to see tonight against Devin Booker. So I don't really have a choice. I hate that it's, all of a sudden in the last 20, 30 minutes been on Twitter a lot, but I'll live with the results.
The 4-man link has been dropped in the chat as well. I don't care if everybody on Twitter is on D-Book. That is a nasty looking square. It cancels out everybody on Twitter on it, and it gives us a chance. Yeah. Okay. The Crier square looking good to me as well. The 4-man is locked in chat. If you want to tail the 4 squares we just talked about, the link is in the Twitch chat. Get involved. Okay. And to those who joined late, welcome. Appreciate you guys getting involved. Hope you've had a great week. Have a great Friday today as well. The ticker has the plays going across the bottom that has all of our straight bets that we talked about if you missed the beginning of the Sharp Report recap. Okay? W's. And W Snowman Sports coming in hot with the raids. We appreciate you, Snowman. The book plays are going across the bottom, but if you can't see them, I'll read them out real quick. I'm on Kent State spreads. Yep. St. Joe's plus 1.5. And Purdue money line. Jovan is on Texas spreads. Illinois, Maryland under 157, and Baylor money line in college baseball. Okay? Sure. W Chaco as well in the chat. Appreciate all you guys. Can we have a great Friday? You guys mind? You guys mind if we all have a great Friday today? I certainly don't. I got a good feeling about today. All right? Let's finish strong, Jovan. We got about 35 minutes left. All right, I want to finish the job here. We went over the squares. Do we want to talk about these other college basketball games starting up kind of soon for the peeps? Okay. All right. Chat, let me know if you guys have specific games you want us to talk about here in CBB. But we can start with some of these early starts that are getting going in about 30. St. Louis and Sister Jean. St. Louis playing their best ball of the season. I guess they were saving it for the tournament and when it mattered. They've low-key won 4 of their last 5 games. St. Louis has looked better over the last 2 weeks, and they probably have all season, to be honest with you, besides maybe that stretch for the first week or 2 where they were kind of a wagon and then they fell off during the middle of the season. But I'm not super shocked to see this team get a little bit of line respect. Number 1, they've been playing really well. Number 2, they beat Loyola Chicago the last time they played them by 30 points. 31, actually. W math. St. Louis, they spanked them when these guys played less than 2 weeks ago, Jovan. So not super shocked to see St. Louis open up +1. And not super shocked, I guess, to see Sister Jean laying 2.5. But if it gets any fatter, I probably would lean Loyola Chicago here.
Yeah. I'd have to say the same, Krabs.
Okay.
I'd say the line's a little short in my opinion, but I don't know. The thing that was a little, I guess, not odd, but they basically just played impeccable 3-point defense on anybody not named Jaden Dawson for most of both of those games, but especially the last one. He was the only one that could shoot from deep. He went 4 for 4, so he's probably going to have to do something again today. I saw him on Pop Tab, and it's one of the rare times I see something on Pop Tab and actually want to take it, but somebody's going to have to do something else, and I think there's probably somebody waiting, whether it's Ruben inside or whatever it may be.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about all these great games you guys are mentioning in the chat. We should have time to go over all the rest of the CBB games if we keep the tempo and pace crispy. Anything in Grambling and Alabama State? We'll make this one quick.
I mean,
I actually have a play.
You actually have a play? I assume you're fading the Mickey Mouse Grambling run. Or are you riding?
Oh, no, I like Grambling. I like what I'm seeing out of Grambling right now.
Wow.
I'm riding with the boys.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I went 4.5, 2.5.
Yeah, spread short. I'm not too impressed with Alabama State. they've honestly been on a Mickey Mouse run as well.
Yeah.
It's Mickey Mouse times 2. And when these guys played last, only a week ago, less than a week ago, Jovan, Alabama State beat them by 12 as dogs. So, yeah, I like Grambling here, down to plus 2.5. Honestly, one of my favorite plays of the afternoon. It's getting swept because of all the other better games.
Yeah, I respect it.
I like Grambling. Chad, anybody else that look funny to you? The 8 seed down to plus 2.5 against the 5 seed that just beat them less than a week ago? Looks weird to me. Oh, good. Good to see immediately after we mentioned the Oregon game, they are now losing by 10. Good.
Dude.
Unbelievable. It's over. Chalk it. We'll move on to the Grambling game. Wisconsin, UCLA. You taking the Badgers here?
I kind of want to. I told you, like, I like Wisconsin in this tournament. Just the game against Northwestern, that matchup scared me a little bit just because it was going to be so weird. I don't know, schematically. It really just came down to whether Martinelli could do anything enough, and he did for a while, but obviously it fell apart at the end. Now they get to play a team. I mean, that's going to make them shoot a ton from deep. I don't think there's going to be much going on in the interior for either of these teams, whether it's like Mara, who again is getting more minutes now for them, or if it's Crowell. Crowell's not going to do anything in this game unless it's from outside the restricted area. So it's on Tanji, it's on Blackwell. We'll see what shooters show up for Wisconsin, but I kind of like them.
I do too. I like that UCLA beat them in January. I like that UCLA is playing pretty good right now as well, just as good, if not better, than Wisconsin. And they even have the better seat. Yeah, I like Wisco here. I don't think I'm going to get to the counter because I can't really tell what's public or what's popular in this game or what's not, but I certainly lean Wisco.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the public likes them as well. I feel like nobody just likes this UCLA team this season, really, and I don't really blame them. But the results have been better. They have.
The fact that, I don't know, the fact that Northwestern sneak covered yesterday is keeping me around. I might push the button.
Yeah. They did cover that 8.5.
Cronin cake from DJ Fitz in chat.
Sure. Krabs iced out, yeah. W Big Cheesy. James Wood, him. What's up, Chew? Sure. Snacks, bro. Any update on the Mount injuries? I know you're dialed in. I see you in the chat. No chance we're getting Pacheco or Dallas Hobbs out there tonight, right? Looking at that spread. Let me know, Snacks. All right. Looks like T-Ben Steaks on Wisco. Sure. Jovan, any thoughts on FAU Tulane?
I mean, not too much. I really don't care for Tulane just in general. Just horrible team. Horrendous team. When they get in scoring droughts, it's some of the worst basketball I've watched, and especially if they like can't do anything on the inside, they just lose all sense of how to play basketball, how to shoot a basketball, how to pass the basketball. It's incredible. So maybe it falls apart against FAU. Not that they're the Great Wall, but I certainly would lean their way.
Okay. Can we give it up for our guy Pax Picks in the chat, giving out a subby? Let's fucking go, Pax Picks. I thought we were letting that get swept. No chance, brher. You're a goat. We appreciate you. Hope you have a great Friday night and a great weekend, Pax Picks. Him. Go. W's. A Drippy's asking for a handout sub. Is anybody nice enough to give it to him? We'll keep moving and grooving. Appreciate all you guys dropping subs and dropping the chats, staying involved. Appreciate all you guys. Let's have a fucking Friday. Jovan, Toledo versus Akron. I can't even believe I'm bringing this game up.
Keep me out of the MAC, man.
Give me Toledo because they have the refs in their fucking pockets.
Sure.
I legitimately want to file a claim after watching that Ohio-Toledo game last night. Don't know who I talked to. If I put in a claim,
that was bad.
Probably won't hear from me again. They'd probably take care of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to file a claim after watching that game. Toledo has the refs in their back pocket. And after watching that game last night, they might just be a fucking team of destiny. Give me the points against Akron. Side note, I really hope Akron, fuck Kent State, even if they come through today or not. I hope Akron ends up winning this conference and making it to the tourney because this Akron team could actually do some damage and maybe win a game or two in the big dance. They're fucking good. Their offense is really good, and they're really fun to watch. So, although I do like Toledo and Kent State, obviously, today on the spreads, I hope Akron wins this conference so we can see them knock off a big dog in March, right? Or a blue blood in March. That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, see who they get.
Jovan, I really like George W. against George Mason, the Battle of the Georges.
Sure.
Give me George W. Open up +2. Something feels a little different with this G-Dub team this season. I like what I'm seeing out there. They got the big man Castro who are taking his PRA, like we talked about earlier. They don't have the stud guards like they've had over the last couple of years, the 2 stud guards from Baltimore, but they do have enough. GW, they got Buchanan, the big body guard / forward from VT, can't make it up. He's their best player. And then they got this future NBA player as well, Castro. They've got enough. And I really like their chances against George Mason today.
I'm with
Loving
you.
the Revolutionaries.
I'm surprised that was not on the Sharp Report, Krabs. I want to get involved.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm always kind of hesitant to put Sharp Report plays that are involving Virginia schools because you can't see them on Pickett when I bet them. Because I got to bet them somewhere else. So I'm always kind of, if I'm leaning one way, I won't put that one in. But do not want to let this play get swept. Okay, GW got swept by George Mason this season. You guys know I'm a sucker for backing a team 3rd time around when they've lost the first 2. Sucker for those bets. We got one tonight with GW. I think they get the win. I think they shock the world and knock off a George Mason team that everybody's been talking about this season. They've been really good. They got a great coach. I love what they're crafting up out there. Their 2 best players, also former Hokies. Can't make this shit up. But George Mason hasn't covered a game in 3 weeks, Javon. I think people are starting to get hip. It might not be Ma and Pa's George Mason team we thought they were preseason, and it might actually be GW, who's the wagon team from around the DMV. Give me the Revolutionaries. +4. Sure. Iona Quinnipiac. I don't really have any plays here. I do think Quinnipiac is a pretty good lay piece, and I've already seen them in the MAC championship. But they did sweep Iona this year, so you won't see me betting on that because Iona is a weird fucking team, and they could certainly cover this, if not, maybe even pull off the crazy upset. But I really do think Quinnipiac is going to the championship in this conference. That team, nobody has given them any respect or talked about them at all this season. It's all been Merrimack talk. Quinnipiac's playing like it. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder, the 1 seed in the MAC. I think they win this game, but I don't know if they cover.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Right. Marquette, St. John's. I want your thoughts on St. John's and Marquette.
I mean, maybe this is somewhat wishful thinking because we talked about this on the pod, but I want St. John's to at least just not breeze through, because like it'll be close games for the most part, but at least continue their magic and at least get to the Big East championship. So then they can be a colossal fade in March, just like Auburn did the same thing last year. So I think, Marquette's the obvious sharp play, which pretty much everybody is against St. John's at this point. Every single game is step in the court. I'm not buying it. It's I lean St. John's.
Did I also miss the snacks report? I'll go back and look. Snacks, can you drop that again? I apologize. Jovan, I get why you want to back St. John's here, but if they beat Marquette 3 times this season, cancel the tournament and just go ahead and hand coach Patino the fucking March Madness trophy. Just cancel the tournament. I'd be shocked, I guess is my point here. I'm trying to make a joke about it, but my point is I'd be shocked if Marquette loses 3 games to the St. John's team. Don't care how good they are. I like Marquette. I'm sticking with my pre-tournament read on the Golden Eagles. I like them.
Fair enough.
Let's see, somebody's winning. And I don't
best.
even know.
I think that game I think it was the last game of the regular season. That was the best someone has shot against St. John's in a month.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was, Cam Jones took 30 shots. So, it's really him or nothing, it seems like, in this matchup.
Okay. That's all right, Fruity. They're dead now, though. So we can go ahead and close that one out and move on to the afternoon games.
That is Pa. Yep. We got a good game in the MEAC, Krabs. Interesting game.
Yeah, we do.
Morgan State, Norfolk State. Dallas Hobbs might not be playing today for the Mount, but we got Cam Hobbs up and moving from Morgan State. Goated.
W update snacks. I see you in the chat, Larkin. Jovan, Who do you like in this one?
Kind of like Morgan State to keep it close, but I for sure want to take Cam Hobbs points.
Okay. Now, it says it's a neutral site, but this one is being played, I believe, in Norfolk Stadium.
Believe so,
Or at
yeah.
least it's in Norfolk, Virginia. So,
Yeah.
Home game for Norfolk, who's just been so good on their home arena this season.
And Morgan State has been quite the opposite. Horrid on the road.
Yep. Let's not forget, though, Morgan State did beat this Norfolk State team already this season. You don't see that very often.
They upset them at home, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Big Cheesy for subbing up our goat Snacks in the chat. Snacks, first off, why were you not subbed already? Okay, second off, though, you got a handout subby from Big Cheesy, who's the goat. So we're chilling. You're all good. And W updates on the Mount Beast. All right? Snacks, you're telling me you're sitting through those commercials every day in here, bro? Respect to you. Respect to you, Beast. Yeah, Norfolk State team of destiny vibes, Jovan, but talk about a fat, happy, complacent spot in a tournament, a team that could get caught lacking against a school that's already beaten them once this season in Morgan State here. I could see it. Yeah. Certainly grabbing the points, though, not the ML, but I could see it.
I don't know. Yeah, Norfolk State is just fucking lights out, dude. But, I get team of destiny vibes from the other side of the bracket, South Carolina State instead of them. South Carolina State.
Yeah, they've had a horseshit up their butt the whole season. I agree.
Yeah.
So it does kind of feel like their year.
Out of all the teams that Norfolk State's had like the past handful of years, I mean, this one seems like the weakest. You wouldn't know that because I guess the rest of the conference is much worse outside of like South Carolina State. But usually it's been like them and NC Central going head to head for a while, and NC Central's in the semis, but it's also one of the weaker teams they've had.
Billy the Kid, no way the Braves are throwing at CJ on purpose in the spring training.
Bro.
Is that what the commentators are saying, or is that what you're saying, Bill?
What is that?
Bill, let me know. That piques my interest. You know why Norfolk State gets all the respect, and you know why they're playing so well this season, even though they don't have the best roster they've had in recent years, Jovan? You know why?
Better.
It's because their coach, Robert Jones. This guy's been here for a decade building up this program. He could go anywhere.
Yeah.
He could go to a Power 5 school and coach. I'm sure he's had plenty of calls by now. But the dude likes where he is. I respect the fuck out of him for it. Although eventually somebody's going to come calling and give him an offer he can't refuse. It could be after this season. Because he's done a masterclass of a job coaching this Norfolk State Spartans team this season. Like Jovan said, not the best roster they've had in recent years, but still the 1 seed, still getting it done. Sure, it helps that their field is not as great as well, but Norfolk State, a fucking wagon. I'd stay off their spread today, but if that team can get in the tournaments, Robert Jones deserves to get one eventually. Maybe he does. They've been in March Madness a couple times over the years. That would be something.
Yeah, that'd be something
crazy.
Interesting, Krabs.
Washington throwing at Riley because he owns them. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if the Nationals are throwing at somebody in the spring. And if they are, that's the kind of tenacity I want to see in the Big 2-5. This team's not fucking around this year. That's a win-win.
I don't think they were throwing at him. I think it was an accident, but then they proceeded to hit CJ.
You see how I spun that into both sides being a win there?
Immediately spun that.
Great job.
Pretty impressive, right?
Good job. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Goods. All right. I want to get on the record because I didn't say this when we talked about this game, but Marquette, St. John's. I do not like Marquette enough to play today. Yesterday I did, and I played them yesterday. Today I'm probably going to sit it out. So to anybody out there who's looking to take the Johnnies with Jovan, I don't want to let me talk you off of it. I just got a weird feeling looking at
I don't think I like
the
Johnnies enough to play them either, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of
all right. Good.
Kind of hoping they keep skating by because the max fade is coming.
Good. Fuck it. I might play Marquette then.
Yeah. Go ahead.
W Big Cheesy for these subbies again to Snacks. I appreciate you, Goat. What a team player Big Cheesy is. He's always in here making plays for the squads. I appreciate that beast. Is it BYU tonight? Yeah, we're not going to talk about how the commentator last night just dropped a crazy bomb on the fucking listeners, the viewers, talking about how his great grandpa fucking invented the tater tot. Is this true? Did you see this, Jovan?
No, I didn't see that.
You let this one get swept?
Yeah.
I don't know. We were at the fucking A10 tourney last night, but I saw something pop up on my phone on the feed. I guess the commentator during the BYU game yesterday dropped a crazy factoid about Richie Saunders and his grandpa invented the tater tot. Just the craziest stat of all time.
Sure.
Could that be the difference in tonight's game? Tater tot POD?
It could be. I mean, I don't know. I can't confidently say. They say Juwan Roberts is not going to play or is going to play, but I have, I don't know, a hard time that if he even does play, he's going to play regular minutes. So I can't confidently say anything about this game, even with tater tot narrative involved, until I know that or we see some news on that. But I don't know. It just feels like the downfall of Houston is just always these injuries when it comes to this time. And Juwan Roberts, you know what that does? As much as I think it's the most reliant offense they've had in a while because you have Uzan, you have Cryer, you have Sharp, you have guys off the bench who can hit the shots. But if Roberts is out or playing limited minutes and this becomes perimeter scoring against perimeter scoring, tell me BYU doesn't win that matchup, Krabs?
Dude, I like what you're putting down with this BYU Cougs team, and you were slurping them on the pods. WPods plug. Chat, check out the fucking pod this afternoon. It's still relevant for the Power 5 conferences if you want to lock in your futures. Check that puppy out. We'll drop the link one more time. Jovan, yes. BYU, I'd take them in this game if it's going to come down to three-point shooting. Yes.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Something looks different with this BYU squad down the stretch. I don't know. They don't look scared. They don't look hesitant. They don't look like a typical BYU squad that when the lights are bright, they turn into Boise State, right? Haven't seen that much of late.
I think
haven't seen that much of late.
Fighting back in that second half against Iowa State after they took, I don't know. They
never see that from the Cougars.
Especially against when you're playing an Iowa State team, that's essentially their second home gym. Like they own that place. And BYU punched back with ease multiple times, which was crazy.
Yes.
So I know, everybody liked the Cougs last year because they were doing this towards the end of the regular season for a bit. And then they flamed out pretty early in the conference tournament and it fell apart, obviously, first game of March Madness. I feel like this team might be what people wanted last year's team to be.
I'll tell you what I like in this game. I like the under in the BYU and the Cougs game.
Yeah.
Not going to get you there?
Well, I mean, I kind of like BYU, and the first time they played, they scored 55 points in their worst shooting performance of the season. So, like, obviously I'm not backing it over after, a game like BYU played yesterday and like Houston for that matter. Their defense wasn't all that great yesterday, but I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
If it makes you feel any better, that game earlier this season still went over because Houston dropped an 86 pace.
Yeah, I know. So, like, crazy. I think I can – it's not that I don't like the over. I just think I'm backing BYU to score a little better, and obviously with that, Houston to do a little less. It's just going to fall somewhere in the middle. But
a couple things that stuck out to me. Obviously, BYU's been on a little bit of an overrun here. Makes sense because when they win, they're typically scoring. They're outperforming their opponent offensively. It's typically how they get it done. So not shocking to see that, right? And taking it under in a BYU game is a shit bet a lot of times. But I got a weird feeling about this one, Jovan, against a Houston team that we know carries their fucking defense wherever they go 9.5 times out of 10 when they're playing. That defense is showing up. Even if they got injuries, doesn't fucking matter. They're coming off an over in their last game where they gave up almost 70 points to Colorado in a game where they should have won by more, should have played better. BYU coming off a 96 piece, obviously, in their last game, scoring plenty of points in their last couple, hitting the over in 4 of their last 5 games. When Houston and BYU have played over the years, they've hit the over in their last 3 games. But the total is hovering around the same number it was in the first matchup this season when these guys played and the game went over. I'm not buying it. I'm not falling for it. This is giving me Clemson under vibes, and I'm going to bet this under in the BYU and Houston game. And I'm going to lean on Houston's defense here to silence the Cougs. I am loving this play. The more that I talk about it, give me the under.
I'll say this too. If we're talking about nuggets that were randomly dropped, and this is not for the purpose of talking you off of it, but they're talking about yesterday. Some of the players, one of the TCU players, Brandon Wenzel was one of the ones saying it. Not that he made any fucking shots, so bad person to come from. But they asked a lot of the players because they changed, I guess, the backdrop and the lighting of the Big 12 conference tournament there.
Yeah.
So it used to be really hard to shoot at, and they were complaining like heavily the last couple of years, and they changed it, and it was like it makes all the difference in the world now, which I mean could be a reason why every single game yesterday went over. So maybe there's something to that. I'm not too sure, but they did drop that nug yesterday. I thought that was pretty interesting on the broadcast for the Texas Tech game.
That's certainly, I don't love hearing that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to happen every game.
And my counter will be, if we know that, the books know it 10x, and 100%. They can move the lines accordingly. Right?
Yeah. I think it was
would be my counter to that.
Every game yesterday went over, but I think the day before that, every game but one went under. So maybe there's a pattern to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and Snacks had a decent chat as well. I want to give him some credit. Houston with Roberts out, I feel like the under will be very public. It's still an under, Snacks. An under very rarely is ever very public, and you're almost always in a good spot having an under ticket in your back pocket. And I'll tell you right now, the next couple of weeks, we're going to be leaning more on unders in squad rides. You're going to see more unders on my sharp reports, and that's something that I've kind of strayed away from that we need to bring back because unders hit. Nobody takes them. Nobody wants to take them, and they hit 60% of the time, and nobody talks about it. Nobody gives a hoot.
I think but
it's true.
Houston's sake too. I guess that's going to apply to a lot of teams. I don't think the first place they go is unders when a big man is out.
Yep.
Especially when it's like Houston.
Yeah, and I mean, if it was LJ Cryer, I'd be like, okay, yep, you know what?
If it was Cryer, Uzan, Sharp, maybe something, but if it's Roberts, not that he's not a big part of the offense, because he is, but I don't think people really know that and watch that as much as they probably should. They just think probably a subtraction of the defense, if anything.
Snacks taking a little mental health day today. Yeah, Snacks, kick the feet up tonight. It's a Friday. Relax a little bit. No need to stress. You got the Mount playing tonight. Snacks, I'm surprised you're not making your way up there to Atlantic City. Hit the silly casinos. See the Mount. If I didn't have plans tomorrow, and if, three of our best players didn't, all get hurt at the end of the season here, and I thought we had a better chance today, I'd probably be on my way up there myself. I got some plans tomorrow, though. Can't make it up there. Snacks, enjoy the game tonight, bro. Gave out a free VIP play in Shelly Gang and shit died so fucking quick.
No way you're giving up VIP. What did you give out?
Terps at 6:30, Mount at 8:30. Snacks, have a day, my man. Do me a favor, Snacks, will you? Have a day. All right.
Memphis first. Dude. All right, let's move.
Can't believe Krabs faded the Mount last night.
It's rapid fire for the rest of these games, Krabs. Starting with Florida. Welcome to the Thunderdome, Missouri. You're getting porked.
Taking the spread, 9.5.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I will be rooting for you, and I think it's probably the right play. I lean that way. Don't know if I want to get involved or have the heart to fade Missouri today, but I like the play, and I think the line agrees with you. I do. What about, let's head to some of these later games like you're talking about. You think the Gauchos show up against UCSD? I know college basketball will be in a way better place if we can get this UCSD team in the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But let's not sleep on the Gauchos, brother.
They're another max fade team on my list. So I'm hoping they slide through, Krabs.
Yep. I wouldn't be shocked if the Gauchos keep this one within 10. They've looked great down the stretch. We see this very often with this Gauchos team that's had the same coach over the years. They play their best ball in the tourney, and they've had great tournaments when they haven't had the best regular seasons more often than not. We've seen the Gauchos show up in their conference tourney. They're doing it again right now. They pulled off the upset in their last game, Jovan. Wouldn't be shocked if they keep it within 10 after they kind of got spanked both times they played this UCSD team this season. Makes me like the spread grabbing the points with UCSB, Santa Barbara, the Gauchos. Okay?
Yeah, I'll respect it. I mean, they have a little bit of a turnover problem, which is not great when you play UCSD, but we'll see how it pans out.
Okay. What about UConn Creighton? Any thoughts in that game?
I mean, I'm not going to take him in this game, but we talked about this tournament on the pod. I like UConn to at least get there to the championship game, and I think they have a shot to win. So not exactly backing down from that.
I like UConn. If I had to bet this game, I'd bet UConn. But I got a weird feeling in my gut about Creighton in this game. So I'm going to sit this one out and root for those bettors out there on the Huskies. And I do think it's the right side. And I think that's some respect for the Huskies laying 3.5. But Creighton going to have some tired legs. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm not the biggest, fatigue narrative guy. But, I mean, a double OT game and a game that they shouldn't even have been in one OT with. Come on. Don't love that for them. But I got a weird feeling in my gut that it could just be Creighton's tourney. I think the line says it's UConn, though, with the way these teams have gone and closed the season out now.
Maybe a little bit. Still UConn. I mean, they're
still UConn.
I don't want to say red hot right now because they're, if you box score and spread watch, it's very deceptive because they've looked horrible for a lot of these games and then just come through at the end, just like they did, last night. Terrible for about 30 minutes against Villanova, and then they come out and end up covering. But I don't know. I still think UConn's got something left in the tank. I think tired legs especially is a big thing when your offense runs through a singular guy in Kalkbrenner. It's like he does everything. Obviously, he's going to be big now. So, I think this is probably a spot where tired legs matters the most. Liam McNeely, legacy game, potentially.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking him on Prize Picks.
I was looking at him pretty hard. He's probably going to be added.
Okay. Boise, New Mexico, I want to play from you.
New Mexico.
Good.
Horrible
I don't
team
care
out
if it's
there.
Square. I agree.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Horrible team. Got job done last night, but, I mean, they got bailed out a lot. Just
shout out the
Meadows
Broncos. Shout out
with
Jovan.
big
Shout out
threes.
LC for giving out Boise yesterday, and I thought it was fake sharp. You guys were right. Although when Ohio blew it, I knew that the Broncos were coming through.
Yeah.
Great call yesterday. That was the popular play that was a no-doubter still yesterday. Any notes today in the back pocket or no? Wouldn't mind one of those.
I'm hoping D-Book assist ends up being that one.
True. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a Lobos year, man. I think we see little Patino get it done, win the conference tourney. I think we see little Patino maybe take his talents to Charlottesville after this season. What do you think about that take?
Patino to Charlottesville?
Little Patino.
I mean, I don't know. It's tough to project Charlottesville because I feel like that's a big – I mean, Tony Bennett's still going to tell him who he wants.
Yeah. Is that Patino name a little too dirty for the Who's?
Maybe a little bit,
It might be a little too dirty for the Who's. Okay. They're going to go out and get a big name now.
Yeah.
Okay, they obviously did not retain, Tony Bennett's assistant, and that's why he waited to give him the chance. But they announced immediately after the game, no respect for the guy. At least wait a fucking night. At least wait one day. Or I saw some other team, some other AD, let their coach go at 2 a.m. one night.
That's insane.
Wait till the morning, you dickhead. Wait till the morning. Imagine if someone did that to you. Oh, scumbags running some of these schools, man. Just bad people. Mean, bad people. Oh, you can't wait till 9 a.m. the next day? Jesus. Never understood that. You're already firing the guy. You're already kicking him while he's down. All right. A couple other late nights here. Clemson, Louisville. I want your thoughts.
I mean, can't catch me taking Louisville, Krabs. Can't do it. I lean Clemson 100%.
Louisville might just have a horseshoe up their ass, though. They might just be the luckiest team ever.
I mean, yeah, it's not that they're a bad team because, I mean, obviously they're good. Definitely should have lost last night, but.
Yeah, they should have.
Yeah, that was a really bad game, really bad defensive game for them too. But it was playing the same team twice in a row. So giving them a little bit of a break. It's hard for me to see them once again containing Shefflin and Lekin. I don't know if I see it.
Yeah, it's going to take a Christmas miracle, literally, to slow down those two bigs for Louisville.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the line flip. Probably would agree. Clemson now a favorite. I got a weird stigma about Clemson not wanting to back them after their legacy run last year. But they're playing really good ball right now. I know they're dealing with a potential injury right now too, but Louisville also dealing with Rain Smith not playing as well. So Chucky Hepburn can only do so much. He might have used up all his magic last night, but also put some respect on Chucky Hepburn's name. What a season. What a season. What a point guard. He proved this year that he's one of the best point guards in the country. It was being doubted before the season.
Yeah, he's good.
And he proved that he is. He's good. Good for him. And he's got crazy hair. He's fun to watch. Arizona, Texas Tech, Jovan. Any thoughts on the Wildcats? against your Red Raiders, who you've had circled all season.
Yeah, can't back down from it now. I mean, this game is quite literally, I think, do you trust Caleb Love to do everything for this team? And I don't know that I do, because Texas Tech is no middle, obviously, so a lot's going to be decided on the perimeter. I don't trust Caleb Love, and I don't think many people do either. So as good as Arizona is, I respect them a lot. I think they've really impressed me and a lot of people throughout the season. I don't know if I can get down with them here.
Rav, if you tried to leave Baltimore in the middle of the night, you probably wouldn't make it wherever you're going.
Yeah.
That might not be the move.
Rav wouldn't. I would.
Yeah, Goots.
Rav's from a little boy mayor of Baltimore.
Yeah, Goots. People get on their fucking knees and bow down when you walk around in that city, brother.
Yep.
You own that place. That's your town.
Yeah, Rav's got no grip, no East Coast.
Last time I was in Baltimore with Goots.
Last time
I was in Baltimore with Goots, I got a round of applause. A standing up. Wait, what'd you say?
Just let that one splurge, man.
Okay. Kind of happy I didn't hear it. Okay, good. John, one more late game. Actually, two. We'll make these quick. Kentucky, Bama.
Go blue.
Okay. Yeah. Grab the points, though. You're going to need them.
Yeah.
Utah State, Colorado State. Great fucking game at midnight tonight Eastern.
Really
Thank you,
game.
gambling gods.
Thank
you, college basketball gods. What do you like?
How do we not take Utah State, Krabs?
We are. I'm very happy that you said that, and we're locking them in at midnight.
Yeah.
Have to fade Nick Clifford. Have to fade Colorado State, although you got to respect what they got going on over there, because they don't have the best Colorado State team they've had in years either. But they got Nick Clifford, who's a fucking dog. Imagine if they still had Isaiah Stevens.
Ooh. I mean, they'd be the greatest team of all time.
Yeah,
but Nick Clifford dominated. He played them, he dropped 26 on them just about 2 weeks ago when they beat him by fucking 30.
But you know who I think is sneakily just as good? Who doesn't get talked about? Ian Martinez.
Yeah, 100%.
Who could also be an NBA player as well. He's got the build. Yeah, we're taking Utah State tonight. And I'll tell you what, Jovan, we got to craft a squad route.
I think that should be a potential option.
I do as well. Let's get going. Gootsy, if you don't mind, run that shit. I want to see that train. Wow, no shot. Iowa fired Fran McCaffrey after he said he expects to be back. That's crazy. Anyways, Jovan, I'm down to put Utah State in here. This was an honorable mention for the Sharp Report for me. I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's put them in there. A midnight squad ride option. Please, chat, for the love of gods, do not just vote for that because it's at midnight. Please. We cannot be getting fat, happy, and complacent after one win. Please. I'm begging you, click the best play you hear us, talk about today. Whatever it is. Maybe it is Utah State. Money line, right?
It is. Yep.
Okay. I want GW and I want St. Joe's.
I was okay with anything coming out of your mouth there that was not Kent State. So, yes, go ahead.
You think I'm a fool?
I was hoping not. But I don't know. When you get in those modes, those foot down modes, I was expecting a little more Kent State goosage.
I know. Even I am not crazy enough to put that in here. And even I'm smart enough to respect keeping them out to the side.
Sure.
There's no fucking chance if that wins or goes in here that they actually come through and cover. The only chance they have is if we keep them off to the side.
Right.
Okay. All right. What do you want to put in here?
I mean, Texas starts early, so that's kind of out of the equation. I mean, the Maryland under, I could be in on, but 2 unders in a row feels like we're asking for one to soar over.
No, we're not. That's a good looking under, and I want to put it in.
Sure.
Yes. Illinois, Maryland under 157.5. I think that's a great looking play, Jovan.
Sure.
Last call. Anything else we talked about today that you fell in love with that you wanted to talk about? You wanted to maybe put in here?
Scrolling through now. I don't think so. I think we roll with these.
I think we do too.
I am obligated to tell you not this. You can run the poll with those, Goots.
Run the poll with those 4 plays, Goots. You get it up and moving. I appreciate you. And Trent, apologies for running late. I promise next week we are going to end at 2 p.m. Eastern every fucking day. If we don't, I'll come on and give a $100 giveaway out. Okay? I owe you. What's up?
You know, the Sharks were favored last night. We just let that. We kind of didn't talk about it too much because we were all in CBB mode. They won. You know who's favored today?
Who?
The Jazz. Against the Raptors, who are obviously a bunch of guys out, but like so obviously tanking, even more obviously tanking, I think, than the Jazz. They literally started guys last game, and granted, like they still won the games. They've actually been playing decently well over the past like couple weeks. They've been winning games, even though they're not trying to, but they're deliberately sitting guys that are playing well mid-game just to let Jared Roden fucking cook and destroy all these other lottery teams. Now the Jazz are minus 2.5.
I cannot believe you kept this back pocket until 4 minutes after the show is supposed to end.
Oh, we didn't get to like NBA, dude. We there's so much CBB on.
You know? No, you're right. You're right. I'm angry.
Yeah.
I fucking like that play, dude.
Yeah. I mean, they're still healthier than the Raptors, so like I don't think the spread is like crazy weird. It's still weird to see them favored because I think they've only been favored like one other time this season, but I have to. I have no choice.
Okay. Well, if I wasn't yapping so much about the Mount, the Hokies, and college basketball today, we would have gotten to it, and we could have put that in here. So that's on me. Either way, all that matters is that potentially you might have found another winner. And keep that play back pocket tonight, chat. Utah is a favorite. Didn't think I'd see them as a favorite the rest of the season, Jovan. Great eye.
Yeah. Crazy.
Great
crazy
find.
They're favored, but
great eye.
Probably
great
the
find.
only chance you're going to get them favored the rest of the year, I would think.
Okay. Snacks, the play we're talking about is the Jazz in the NBA. And it's looking like the squad ride is going to be another under in CBB. W play.
No way that one.
W play. I'm cool with it, bro. It's hitting. All right.
Sure.
Chat, W week, WBTL. We're not going to hold you any longer, Trent. I'm sorry, bro. Stick around for the surge stream, guys. Pitch Trent a winner, please. We'll catch you next week.